The BMW E46. In 1997, BMW continued their advancements of the 3 Series design. BMW claimed that the chassis was 70% more rigid than the E36 previous generation. The E46 is the perfect balance of modern technologies and then also the old analog style of cars. And in the case for the M3 variants of the BMW 3 Series, it had an extra 100 horsepower to the engine. So speaking of M3s, I was able to sit down and talk with someone who knows a lot about these cars.
Sure, my name is Rob Holm, former BMW technician. I graduated from Walla in 1996 with an automotive technology degree and worked for BMW for 4 years after I left here. Been working here as a professor since 2003.
What are your thoughts on the E46 Generation 3 Series?
They're really, really good driver's cars. Their quality is extraordinary. A lot of people consider it to be probably one of the best, at least if we're talking about the M3, probably one of the best M3s ever made. They took a massive step up in quality from the E36 and still yet maintained a lot of the feel, the driver's feel that the 3 Series is known for. I worked on them. They're relatively easy to work on. They're well-built, reliable. They're just one of the nicest intuitive driving cars I've ever been around. But yeah, I've had 3 E46s and I loved every one of them.
What were the different models for those?
330 and 2 M3s. My favorite one was 01 M3.
The specific model that's right in front of me here is a 2002 BMW 330 Ci. It has a 3-liter inline 6 and has a 5-speed manual connected to that. And I'm going to be showing you around the car, showing you some of the reasons why you should maybe buy one, that they're a great car to learn how to work on cars, modify, and play around with a little bit. We're going to start up front here with the headlights. BMW had 3 different setups for the headlights. The first design, the second, and the third. This car has the second design headlight, and what it includes is a xenon bulb, which creates a super clear picture of the road in front of you. Overall, the timeless design of this car really makes the car look a lot newer than it actually is. I have a lot of people that have come up to me thinking the car was made, a little bit closer to 2010, but in fact, these cars were made really from 1997 up until 2006. And now moving on to the wheels of this car, it has a set of TR37 Vors wheels. They're in gloss black, and it has a set of 235 width tires on the front and 255 width on the rear. There's a benefit with these wheels beyond just the looks right here from the side, is they have a little bit of offset on them as well, which pushes the wheel out towards the fender, giving it a nice fitment. The offset plus the ISC coilovers gives this car a great stance, a lot better than stock. So onto the interior. For this one, we have a all black interior, which I think looks great. There were other color combinations that you could have for the interior, which included a black on red, and then you had a black on a kind of brown, and then there was an all tan interior, and then a all gray interior as well. The interior of the BMW E46 is also great because it's analog enough with real buttons to push that it kind of brings you back in time a little bit, but it is modern enough for a great security system, heated seats, and an air control system that automatically changes as you drive. Now, if you are a taller driver, it is a little bit of a small car to fit into. I'm 6'3", and with the seat leaned back a little bit, I have, a couple fingers room on top of me. It's not ideal if you're wanting to track the car, so if you're going to be doing that, it's very vital that you get a certified racing seat that's going to drop you down lower in the car so you can fit a helmet on and be a little safer. There are 5 seatbelts in this car, so you could, in theory, fit 3 in the back, 2 in the front, but it's a little tight to actually do that. So keeping that tight room in mind, let's go back to the trunk and take a look at the storage this car has. So as you look into the trunk, what you can see here is a rear subframe support. On the E46s, they do have an issue, especially in the M3s, where the rear subframe of the car will actually crack with heavy forces of torque applied to the body of the car. So in this case, I installed a rear subframe support to decrease the amount of stress that is on the chassis of the car. So also in the trunk, you do have room for a spare tire underneath this mat here. And on top of that, you do have some little plastic storage places to be able to stick a little bit of loose stuff so that it's not flying around in the trunk. Overall, the trunk is actually a decent size. I've been able to fit a set of golf clubs back in here without too much trouble. Plus, the rear seats will actually fold forward to make a pass-through where you can stick longer stuff into the trunk. So what we have right here is the M54 B30, which is BMW's 3-liter inline-6. It is one of BMW's most reliable engines, and it came in the 330 variant of the E46. The 325 came with a M54 B25 engine, which is a 2.5-liter inline-6, making around 185 horsepower. This one here is around 230 horsepower, the 3-liter inline-6. And then for the M3s, they came with the famous S54, which is a 3.2-liter inline-6, making approximately 333 horsepower, 100 horsepower more than this one right here. All of the engines had an option to be paired to a 5 or 6-speed manual or a 5-speed automatic. For the M3s, instead of using a traditional automatic transmission, they used a manual transmission that was automatically shifted. That was called the SMG transmission, and over time, those were looked as not very reliable in comparison to the 6-speed manual that everybody's come to know and love. For this example of car, I've done a manual swap on this. It used to be an automatic 5-speed, but I've swapped in the ZF 5-speed for the early model 330. Now, these are great engines to actually work on and learn because you do have a very good diagnosis system in the car, and then also everything is relatively easy to get to. Now, it's not as easy as some Hondas, but it's a whole hell of a lot better than working on some Audis. And that is the E46, the perfect balance between modern technologies and the old.